Forza Horizon 5 has plenty of cars that demand attention right away. Bright, fast, loud machines that instantly try to impress. But sometimes the most interesting cars are the ones that don't rush to show off. The 2012 BMW is exactly one of those. At first glance, it might seem pretty ordinary, but the more time you spend with it, the clearer it becomes. This is a car with personality, and it reveals itself slowly. This isn't a car that shocks you in the first few seconds. It doesn't slam you into your seat every time you hit the gas, and it doesn't try to look more aggressive than it really is. Instead, it pulls you in gradually through a sense of control, through its confidence on the road, and through a kind of calm that's surprisingly rare among truly powerful cars. The BMW almost feels like it's asking you to slow down and pay attention, not to the numbers, not to the spec sheet, but to how the car actually drives, how it holds its line, and how it responds to the driver. That's where its real strength lies. It doesn't demand that you adapt to it, but it definitely rewards you if you do. What really makes this car interesting, though, sits under the hood. It's powered by a 4.4-litre twin-turbo V8, and this engine marks the beginning of a new era for BMW. It was one of the motors that pushed the brand fully into turbocharged V8 territory without losing that signature BMW character. In the game, this engine produces 552 horsepower and 679 newton-meters of torque. But honestly, the numbers aren't the main story here. The engine feels refined and mature. It doesn't jerk or behave unpredictably. The power delivery is smooth and controlled, with no sudden spikes. That makes the car feel very stable and easy to manage, especially at higher speeds. What's also interesting is that this V8 wasn't originally designed as a pure performance engine. In real life, it was built to balance power, durability, and comfort. And Forza Horizon 5 captures that feeling very well. The car accelerates confidently, but it never feels like it's constantly on the edge. If anything, it feels like there's always extra power waiting in reserve, even when you're not pushing it to its limits. The sound of this engine deserves a separate mention. A V8 naturally comes with certain expectations, but BMW approaches it differently. Instead of a loud, dramatic roar, you get a dense, restrained tone. The sound is deep, slightly muted, and free of harsh notes. In Forza Horizon 5, this becomes especially noticeable at high speeds. The engine never feels like it's screaming or becoming tiring, even when you hold high RPMs for long stretches. It feels more like it complements the driving experience rather than trying to dominate it. The sound fits perfectly with the car's overall character, confident, calm, and not desperate for attention. Because of that, the engine note works less like a special effect and more like part of the car's identity. It clearly reminds you that there's a serious engine under the hood, but it doesn't turn every drive into a performance. For a car like this, that actually feels like a strength rather than a weakness. The exterior design of this BMW was created by BMW Group Design under the leadership of Adrian van Hooijdonk. At the time, he was already shaping a new visual direction for the brand, moving away from bold experiments and bringing the focus back to proportions. This car is a perfect example of that philosophy. The design doesn't try to impress you instantly. The long hood, rear-set cabin, and clean body lines create a sense of balance and composure. The car looks confident without being aggressive. Even years later, its design doesn't feel rushed or overly influenced by trends. You can clearly see the balance between luxury and sportiness. The wide stance, subtly emphasized wheel arches, and restrained lighting design make it obvious that this is more than just a comfortable sedan. Every element of the car contributes to a sense of harmony, without fighting for attention or breaking the overall image. All right, now let's move on to the most important part, the tests.
sharp left.